Ray Donovan, Bob. Connor wants to go to an awards banquet with Tommy Wheeler, and that sets off one of the main storylines here. Because Tommy's in trouble, just out of the blue. He ends up marrying Chloe after all Ray did to keep those two apart. But they get married. Chloe dumps him, and then sends pictures to this paparazzi publisher guy or something like that. Um, so Ray goes into gear. He finds Tommy with some French tourists posing for pictures with him while he's sleeping. Um, then he goes to the guy and he asks him not to publish, and the guy has muscle now, so he gets told off. And then Ray finds Tommy flirting with some adoring fans and then whips his dick out uninvited, the fallout of which Ray has to deal with. Tommy wants to pay the guy off, but Ray handles it in a slightly more Donovan-esque manner. And voila, by the end, Ray's passed things up with Connor by making the Kids Awards show happen.
All right, we're done. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that did sort of get to it all, huh? I should have let that breathe a little bit more. Any thoughts you wanted to interject that I steamrolled you?
Well, these loser Hollywood millionaires, these caricatures, it's like a cross between Lindsay Lohan and Tom Cruise in each of them. They're together enough to know what makes a good movie, apparently, as we see with the one, and then they're unhinged and doing all sorts of crazy stuff that only people like them would do. But I don't know. I felt like even that analogy isn't quite sitting well. It's like so over the top. Have we seen anything like this in real life? Like the Tommy character? I don't think we have. Maybe we have, and I just don't follow Hollywood enough. But it felt like
maybe
very
the
exaggerated.
Point is that because of people like Ray, we don't know
Oh,
that it's really there. Is that what it's trying to say?
Oh, that's so brilliant. Not, but sure, that could work.
Yeah, I guess. We have another storyline though. Avi's driving Sully across the country, and Ray's very impatient about this. I wasn't quite sure why Ray was so impatient, like why today instead of tomorrow, but he was.
Oh, I think that was because he just wants his father dead, and he knows that FBI agent is not taking the threat seriously. So that's all it was in my book.
Oh, you might be right. Yeah, you might be right, because now come to think of it, he did say to Avi, hey, listen, if you don't get here and they get some tip, the FBI is going to swarm in, and you do have the country's most wanted man in your backseat after all.
Right.
But Sully goes a little crazy and ends up just killing his girlfriend. I mean, she did make a major mistake by talking to people, including people she's related to, which I assume would probably have their phones bugged just in case. Or they could have had their phones bugged just in case because it was a relation of Sully's. So that was a pretty big mistake. But yeah, he's fine just killing her.
I thought it was an even bigger mistake actually because she says that she was talking to her mom and oh, I might have said that we were going to California, and then Sully at first was like, ha ha ha, I'll laugh it off, no big deal, California's huge. But then right before he kills her, he's like, wait a second, you like never talk to your mom. And then so it seemed like there was this undertone of like she was talking to the cops, or she had some payoff and she was double crossing him. Or is it just me that saw that or thinks that that's a possibility?
I think there was a hint that it could have been something worse. So his instincts may have just been terrific. That she's a problem.
Yeah, he still just killed her right there, and it was wow.
Guess
okay.
That's how you become the FBI's most wanted man, huh?
Right, exactly.
But Avi has to dispose of the body, and then Sully does finally show up, and he wants to do things his way. He doesn't want to do things Ray's way, and it seems like, that's foreshadowing some issues down the road. It looks like.
Right. That's like very Ray Donovan. I want to do things my way. It's right up there with the line, I'm not the kind of guy you fire. And it's like, you guys are so original with your dialogue.
Yeah, so we will see what happens. But speaking of the FBI dude, Van, that was a surprise. So the storyline that ends up, with the culmination there was Mickey's actually working with Sean Walker, and Van's like, you idiot, he's not working with you. He's playing you, so you got to wire up and you got to go in there. But they have like this really great creative session. Oh, my dog wants to be on the cast. It looks like. But they have this great creative session, and then Mickey ends up, of course, shooting Van and ending that whole thing. Why did Mickey do that?
I thought it was weird too because Mickey had a way out. This would have been a huge breakthrough for Van's case, and Mickey. I thought that it was being set up as this was his ticket out of being on whatever followed lists and having a free life and starting over. But he was really bought into the Sean Walker screenplay session, and I'm all sorts of confused because I don't know if that was set up to be an actual real thing. Because the whole time I thought it was what Van was saying, that Sean Walker was just playing Mickey and basically wanted the rights to this and wanted to handle it himself because Ray didn't handle it the way he wanted, but that he wasn't really going to make the movie. He just needed Mickey to think that. But I'm confused.
Yeah. Well, I agree. It seems so obvious that that's what was going on. But either Sean Walker's playing the long game with Mickey, or he really got inspired and they really started making something because he seemed to really get into it.
Yeah, and maybe even after being told that it's not going to happen, he wanted to just take his chances. I mean, it is, if he's been set up as kind of an asshole, tough guy character this whole time anyway. So if he's irrational in that respect, killing somebody and going with a dream that's only a half-ass reality, it's not too far from his character, to be honest, right? Like what? He's done worse things.
Yeah. In any case, I think Mickey was won over by Sean Walker's act, and I think that Mickey wanted to take his chances that this would actually get made, and thought the Van would get in the way of that.
Exactly. Which is kind of ironic because Mickey's doing Ray a favor in some ways. So we'll see how that plays out. Because Van was, yeah,
in a lot of ways, a big favor actually, but it may be too late to save Mickey from Ray.
Right. Which, whatever that means in terms of emotional payoff or trauma later.
Yeah, I'm sure that will be brought up again. Right. So one other thing that I'm not sure I quite have figured out. So Ray and his FBI source, his guy on the inside, he wants him to deliver the dirt on Van, but Frank doesn't want to do it. And we have Lena. At least we get a chance for Catherine Mennick to shine a little bit. She's posing as a photographer. She brings the mom and daughter in. We find out it's Frank's family. But he was really, really, really resistant to go and drop off that stuff. I'm not sure I quite caught why. Did you understand why?
Why? Who wanted to drop off what stuff?
Okay, so Frank, who's Ray's guy, Ray kept giving him stuff to give to his superiors that would get Van in trouble, right?
Right. Okay.
But Frank did not want to do it. He kept resisting.
Oh, yeah. So we only got a couple hints here, and I think it's just because Van, for being an introverted guy who kind of plays by his own rule book, he's covered his tracks and has a reputation, and Frank just didn't want to, blow wind up his skirt because he's got plenty of dirt himself, and felt like there would be retaliation from Van, and it wouldn't end well for him. That's what I got out of it. That's about it.
Yeah, it's something along those lines. I wish we had a little bit more, but I agree. Any final words on Ray Donovan, Bob?
We got 3 episodes left, and I'm at this far. I'm curious to see where it goes, marginally so, and I'm this far, so we're going to finish it up.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I do appreciate that they're getting a little bit crazy and unexpected. It reminds me of Breaking Bad, which we already reviewed, which is more of a jaw drop. And this one's more of like a little eyebrow raise. Oh, I wasn't expecting that to happen to Van, but I like that it's hinting at some risks, some unexpected directions. So here's hoping it turns out and executes just like I hope Breaking Bad executes.
Cool.